Why, good afternoon, and welcome back to today's show. You see, when you see people doing it like me or and another artist, they're doing a picture. They're telling you what they're doing, but we're always doing the painting. And today I decided, let's do an art lesson. Let's do how I would teach any of my other students how to sit down and how to use the brushes and how to really work on a painting. So I'm not really going to do a painting. We're just going to do step by step how to make up trees, mountain. We'll just take it from there, and maybe we'll have 2 shows doing it. So it depends how much we get done today. So I already got some paint out. I got yellow. I think I got cobalt blue. I got alizarin crimson, some birch sienna, and a little bit of Van Dyke brown. That's I don't have no green, no orange. I do have those colors, but it's nice to learn how to mix up your own colors too. And that's what I usually do. What I use is usually three goat hair brushes. I use a 1 inch, a 1/4 inch, and a script liner. The script liner is just a regular long hair brush. But the other 2 brushes is a goat hair brush, and the best way to use. And if the important thing is how to control the water and why I prefer these brushes than other brushes that a lot of artists use. And I'm going to explain that too. Let's talk about clouds and skies. Now a lot of times you could take your brush, get a little bit of blue, put a little bit of blue on your paintbrush, and you could go straight across, and you could do a nice blue painting sky that way, And let me add a little bit more blue to that, and you can say, okay, this is the sky, and that's a good, very good way of doing a sky. The other thing is you could put it down wet, get a piece of paper towel, and dab it, and it will make it. It will take out a lot of the roughness, but at the same time, it makes it a little bit more fluffier, And the other thing is that whatever is blue is the sky. Whatever you leave out, the white, represents clouds. So that's another way of just removing some paint, and then you have some clouds and some paint, and you could do a nice little cloud that way. It's not really hard. Some people will take a pencil and will draw the white, a cloud that way, then very gently bring your paint up to the cloud, and as you go to the cloud, you just stop your brush right where you want the white cloud to be at, and that's another way of doing it. It's whatever works for you, or works for that kind of a painting that you're planning on doing. The other thing is you could add layers to anything that you do with watercolors or any other paint. Now, I have it every time when the paint's dry, or even, you could just pick up a little bit more paint, and you could add some more dark to it to show a little bit of shadow, because clouds has other shadows and darkness, or to make distance. And that once that dries, you could add more onto it. So when you do and the important thing that's when you're using watercolors, you only want to put in 20 seconds. If it's a paper this, more you wait and the more you try to do work with the clouds, more of a mess it already gets. You know, it's 1, 2, 3, and the cloud is the sky. Should just be done with. You know. Yeah. Whatever's in the other thing about when you're working with sky, it should be darker, more up on the top, and then as you work yourself down to the midway, it gets lighter. You know, and that will keep your perspective how it should be. You know, or you could do it, or else you could do it reverse. Keep it dark, and as you work up, it will show the same thing. Especially if you want everything that's in the middle ground more darker than the sky. That's what that will give that illusion of it. You know, rocks and mountains and all that. I usually just use 90% of the paintings. I just use the quarter-inch brush. Whatever I could do with the big brush, I could use it with this brush. If I'm working on a big thing, if I just want to do something quick, I'll use a 1-inch brush, and then it's done. But I feel very comfortable with just using this quarter-inch brush. When you do mountains and hills and stuff like that, you could just use anything to judge yourself. The only thing you don't want to do, Woody, is when you make a mountain. Let me just clean up the brush real quick. Is that if you go into, let me pick up a little bit burnt sienna. You just don't want to go up and say that this is a mountain, you know, or this is a mountain, you know. It just looks funny. But if you do it, but let's say if you do it like it, add some shape to it. Here, let's just work on this here. I got some that looks like a M, you know, and the Woody looks. The only thing Woody have to do is just add more shape, more contour to it, and you're working on a very light paint. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna finish the middle of it. I'm gonna move this down. And as I'm moving it down, I'm reshaping it. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm gonna take up a little bit more of this brown. Now let's say this part here that goes straight down, this part here, I'm just gonna come down with it, and I'm just gonna bring it out a little bit. See, I got a little, it's not pointy now, it's a little bit more flatter, it's a little bit more shaper, and by doing that, you're just shaping it a little bit more, and then as you go up, you know, you could take your time with it. and then you could start adding different colors to it. The mountain, if you're working with one mountain or two mountains or three mountains, the one that's gonna be in the distance, the far background, that's the one you want to keep lighter. Let's say this is the one that's gonna be in the background. So I will put some marks on it, and right now I'm just using the tip of just the flat end of this brush, just the flat end. That's all I'm using, and I'm just barely touching the paper. This one here is going to be. I'm not using the whole brush, just the very tip of the brush. If I turn it sideways, you can see that. You see how sharp that is? See it? It's just nice and flat, and I'm just using the tip of it. I'm just going down easy with it. I'm just adding more paint, a bit of paint here and there. Excuse me. But because this is in the background, I'm not going to put too much shape to it. So I'm just going to keep it light and just add some shadows and maybe put another bump on it. You know. Excuse me. Okay. The other thing you got to realize is where's your highlight? What part's going to be the very light part, where the sun's going to hit. So if this is going to be the shadow side, where the sun is hitting, or this light area, then I'm going to get a little bit of darker. I'm going to get the same paint, but I'm going to make it a little bit heavier, less water, a little bit more paint. But again, straight edge brush, and I'm just going to touch it a little bit and just bring up a little bit shadow. Now the other way, I'm going one way, darkness, I'm pulling it a different way. But as you see, I didn't put it on very heavy. I'm just taking my time and just bring it just a little bit down. Like I said, this is just the back of that mountain, and that's it. If it's too dark, if I think it's too dark, I add just plain water on my brush. And if I think it's too straight, I'll just come down a little bit with it. You know, like I said, this is just a lesson. And maybe I'll just add a little bit. I'm going to take my script liner brush, and I'm just going to add just a little bit of lines, just to bring out that little part right here. This little part I'm going to bring out. There. Reshapes, does reshape some of this. There. There we go. Okay, that's good enough. So here goes the quick way of doing a hill or rocks, mountains. Okay. This one here, let's go back here. This one here, I'm going to bring up this, I'm going to reshape this one a little bit darker, just to show that this one's in front. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take my brush. I'm just going to start bringing down some of this paint. Again, it's just a little bit of paint, and with the little bit of paint that I put on that edge, I'm just going to bring some of that down too. Grab a little bit. I'm going to bring some of that down. There. There, and as it comes to the ground, I'm just going to work it out. Yeah. And again, I'm going to build it up. Add a little bit dark paint as I come down with it. Let's say right here, I'm gonna add, this one here will have a little more texture on, a little bit more texture up on it, a little bit more movement. That's gonna be the light side. So I'm just gonna add in right some of the darker ones. There you go. And have fun when you're doing these, you know, this is just to have a little bit of fun. There. There you go. Like that, you got a little bit of rock formation, a little bit of mountain, nothing too hard, nothing too crazy. And we got this, so far it took us a little bit over 8 minutes to just to do this little bit, you know. And that's what everything is. Okay. Now, this time I am gonna take the big brush. Here's the big brush. I'm gonna take out some water from, these brushes holds a lot of water. So you gotta sometimes tap it up to just remove some of this water. Gold hair brushes holds a lot of water up in it. So I'm just gonna fan this out, get rid of some of this roughness. Okay. There you go. Now, when you do, let's say we want to build up some foreground with some trees or something, I'm just going to get a little bit of yellow. Got a little bit of yellow on my brush. I know I really don't have no camera crew today. I'm in the studio with just one camera. So it's going to be hard to do, to show you every little thing that I really would like to show you. But when I get to the brush, when we get here, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. Like I said, this is not a painting. This is exactly how I would teach the students if you were in my classroom or in the studio or wherever I would be teaching you. The thing is the brush. If you look at my brush, I'm putting it down right on this edge of this brush. I just mix up some yellow and some green, yellow and blue. Yellow blue will make a nice green. But it's not the whole brush, it's just that corner. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna tap just with the corner of the brush. I'm gonna hold my hand down here and you can see that I'm just touching it. I'm touching and I'm bending the brush. And I'm moving it. Again, this is only the light, this is only just a little bit of water. Okay. Take out a little bit more water. I'm gonna wait for this to dry. I'm gonna take nearly 90% of the water out of this brush, and I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna tap it around to thin it out some more. There. See, now it's nice and thin. My brush doesn't have that much water up on it. I'm gonna get a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue, and it's gonna be a little light green. Again, it's just on that tip, just on this tip of the brush, that's all it is. Just a little bit of paint. And I'm just gonna start tapping it again. Tap. And what it is, when you tap on these brushes, it will bend these bristles. With the gold hair brush, it will bend these bristles. You see these, how it will bend them, and it will stay. That's why I like these brushes. See that? You could, when it hits the brush, it will do all that design for you with these brushes. and I turn the brush around. This way it doesn't make the same marks. See that? Yeah. Then I'm gonna clean out the brush. And then I'm gonna take all the water out from the brush again. And again, I'm just gonna dry up the bottom part. That's all. Move it around. Because later on, that's gonna be the ground. Dirt and the ground. And I shape it. I shape it downwards. I bring it down one way, and I bring it down another way. And what it does, it makes it look more like a hill instead of flat. If you want to keep it flat, you just keep your brush going flat. But me, I like to bring it down. But while I'm doing that, the watercolors will be drying then. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of water to my brush. Oh, we got 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes left. But I'm going to add a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to make it a little bit darker. And here I'm just going to make it a little bit more darker. That may be a little bit more dark than I want. So I'm just going to take out the paint and just fan it down some. So I don't want to be that dark yet. There you go. Then once again, I'm going to clean out the brush and just do the bottom. And that gives me, my ground is now having all different colors of brown, different colors greens. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow, a little bit of blue, make it a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, and once again, this time I add a little bit more dark, make it just a little bit more darker. Because it's coming closer to me, so I'm just going to add this a little bit more darker here and there. And I may not even put it all in the same spot. Let me see. There you go. Maybe just a little bit in the front. Yeah, and maybe a little bit up here. Let me add a little bit more paint. There. And just that easy. You have you have a bunch of different planes, different colors, different. And once again, I'm just going to pull some of this down. There. Pull some down one way and pull some down the other way. Now I got some brown, darker brown. I'm getting a feel of the ground when I'm doing that. We got 25 seconds, so I want to thank everybody for coming. And I hope you come back again next week, and this way we'll have the painting. We'll start the middle ground, and we'll work on a whole bunch of different trees and a little bit more grass. So thank you for coming, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.